Hello and welcome back to the West Ham Network for the 5 things we learnt from the Wolves 1-0 victory over West Ham, as West Ham have dropped in to the relegation zone for the first time in over 3 months after our defeat at Wolverhampton Wanderers. Daniel Podence's goal early in the second half sealed 3 points as West Ham dropped down to 18th in the league, with Wolves and Southampton winning. It puts a lot of pressure on West Ham as well. So what we're going to do today is go through some of the things that we learned from the game today. And the first point is on Moyes' team selection. And after earning plaudits from across the footballing world for leading West Ham to back-to-back European qualifications, David Moyes endured a nightmare start to the current Premier League season, and that does not look like it's going to be stopping anytime soon. And despite a productive summer in the transfer market, Moyes' side failed to replicate the successes of previous campaigns and found ourselves sliding dangerously close to the relegation zone. But a point against Leeds offered hope at the beginning of 2023, and maybe made us think that we can do something, at least something, from the team and the performances that we did see earlier on in the year. And we're only on the 15th of January. But does David Moyes know his best starting 11? Does David Moyes know his best formation? He built the last 2 seasons on consistency. He referenced it every single week in press conferences. Consistency in the team selection, giving players a run in a team to get used to each other. Consistency within reason on formation. But this season has been so far from what he wants to build his team on. Absolutely so distant from what he wants to do and what he's always done. It sometimes feels like that famous song, the hokey pokey. You put your left foot in, your left foot out, in, out, shake it all about. One game, Agerd is in, then he's out. Skamaka is in. He picks up a niggle, trains all week, starts on the bench. The same can be said for Kurt Zouma, which takes me on to point number 2, our aging defence. My word, when David Moyes came back to the club, he spoke tirelessly about the Red Bull model. Young players building for the future. But how can we build for the future when our backline are nearly 120 plus years old? Augie's got his long-term injury. He's back from it. He's 34 years old. Krezi is 33 and not the same player that he once was. Sifal is 30. And these players are relied upon week in and week out, with frustrations clear to see that the youngsters who don't get a run in the team either not signing contracts with the club or leaving. Alessi, Ashby and Johnson, just to name a mere few. As we move on to point number 3, which is the Soucek problem, Tommy Soucek's role. And for the 3rd game running, Soucek played in a more attacking role of the trio in midfield with Rice and Lucas Paqueta. And again, while it allowed Rice and particularly Paqueta to have more involvement in the midfield, it kept Soucek away from doing his defensive duties, and he did struggle to add anything going forward. In the game, Soucek made 8 accurate passes, just 8, as the man tasked with trying to link the midfield to attack did very little on the ball, an issue considering West Ham are lacking in attacking quality. And with Soucek's career record of goal scoring and his physicality, Moyes has tried to use him in the same way he used Fellaini at Everton and Manchester United, playing a defensive midfielder in an attacking role in a bid to get goals and cause havoc in opposition defences. There was one Fellaini-esque moment which you could call a plus for starting him there when he flicked on a Paqueta cross in the first half towards Bowen, which led to a Sifal shot. And that was West Ham's only real chance in the first half. Barring that moment, Soucek's role as a number 10 creates more questions than is asked. Answered for with the pressing of Fornals for the technical qualities of Lanzini, it would make more sense to play one of these two centrally with Bowen and Benrahma wide. In the last 2 games when Soucek has come off for Benrahma, West Ham have transformed into a much more threatening side. No questions. And that takes me on to the next point. Nicely side Benrahma. What is going on? What will he be left wondering? What else can he do to keep his starting place in the side? He's in the club's joint top goal scorer in the Premier League, only scorer in the FA Cup, and second in all competitions this term. In a side who have lacked the ability to score in domestic competitions this season, as he did against Brentford, his injection on the hour mark gave West Ham side a kick up the backside, and Wolves' defence something to suddenly start worrying about. Fornals in his place did not produce a great showing. He didn't. And there has been a case for either Benrahma to play ahead of Fornals, or they both start and Soucek drops out, which is where I am favoured on. And rather than West Ham's most creative player being present, sat on the bench for the first hour of every game for the past few matches, it's not going to work when you've got your creative players sitting on the bench. It just is not. And last but not least, the players look deflated. I mean, you don't really need me to tell you that. You just have to look at the pictures of the players. Yes, of course, they missed a chance, but the players do look deflated because sometimes they look a little bit confused. They're not sure what's going on. We're not sure what's going on. Jared Bowen's not sure what's going on. But the players are not and don't seem to be unified, nowhere near where they were at last year or the last 2 seasons. And that's what we need to get back, that va-va-voom with this footballing team that we're lacking so much of. There you go. There's your 5 points that we learned from today's show. So leave your comments in. If you're new around here, subscribe to the show, hit your thumbs up, and we hope you have enjoyed it, even though it's not a great result. Come on, you Irons.